aside from, I guess, the Blood Razor, so we'll have to see.
Yeah, we'll see. And yeah, so we'll see if Trevor will be able to pull off this kind of jungler playstyle with Kindred. And then same thing for Yux. Malay natin, magaling pala siya mag-rise. He's just been holding it.
Holding it in.
Yeah, holding it in, and he's going to let out the insane rise that we hope to see.
Yeah, he's just going to spill all over with his rise.
Yeah, so for this composition, ideally, the mid and bot will be okay. They're safe lanes, so Kindred won't need to support them. It's okay to just keep farming until you get that Blood Razor, maybe another item after like Hextech or Runance. The only worry would be with Ryze, because with Ryze, he kind of needs help, of course, in that early game. And against a Trundle, he might have a bit of a hard time, but Ryze can stay and he can survive this lane, I could imagine, against
he's ranged,
Trundle for a while. But I can imagine over time, baka mangailangan niya ng tulong, especially with Hechizo on Elise. That's a lot of early game pressure. So Trundle and Elise, that's going to be a pillar, and the Cocoon coming in. If Elise decides to gank, that's going to be a lot of pressure on Yux in this top lane. And we won't know if they'll be able to survive, or if Yux can survive that amount of pressure. But hopefully we'll be able to see. For the side of CRB, so yeah, it's really going to be a lot of early to mid-game AD damage on the side of Varus and Lucian. And then that's going to be Ryze with a lot of late game. So they're pretty relevant for most of the stages of the game. But yeah, we'll have to see if they can make Ryze survive. So yan ang mga pogi natin players right now on the screen.
So we got ourselves, there's Hechizo and Trevor.
Yeah, for the jungle.
You know, I kind of feel old now, because before when we started casting, you never had this kind of thing.
Yeah, now it's going to be Chalk in the mid lane against CXC. On Infuse, that's going to be the mid lane matchup. And then for the AD carry matchup, we're going to see Marky, who's been performing quite well recently, especially on Caitlyn, against JRM for the side of Infuse. Both AD carries very strong recently. And then that's going to be Shadow playing on support for Cerberus, and then that's going to be Akil on Infuse for support.
I think Akil's the only one who has a pose that's like showing his back.
It's a rebel.
Yeah,
unique pose. But yeah, so for the side of Infuse, if you look at the team composition, so that's going to be a late game scaling AP as well. So when we see that, there's going to be some support from Elise as well. Again, very important for that early game pressure. And then the bot lane with Soraka and Caitlyn, they're going to be able to sustain for sure. Long range na nga yung AD carry mo, may Soraka ka pa. That's going to be like forever, just in the bot lane with that laning phase. And we'll see if Lucian and Janna will be able to survive that lane. Again, there is the range worry, but the shields will probably keep him safe.
I'm kind of worried right now about the composition here coming in from Cerberus. I mean, they have no real safety when you look at it, just from, I believe, the Janna and the Lamb's Respite from this Kindred. And what happens when those two important ultimates are down? Will, you know, Infuse be able to catch up on the Cerberus, and Cerberus have no answer? I mean, they have damage if they, you know, if they get the itemizations, but then will they survive or, you know, stand still long enough to deal out that damage against Infuse Esports?
Yeah, that's true. We'll have to take a look at how these team compositions roll out. I mean, I'm excited to see these two teams. Medyo maaga pa sa PGS for us to be able to tell kung sino ba yung naabot sa playoffs. It's only the beginning, and I'm sure our teams have a lot left to show. Syempre, marami sa ating mga LoL players naggulat talaga sa sobrang laking patch 6.9. I'm sure a lot of people are still testing the meta. I mean, as a joke, you know, up until LCK starts playing, no one knows what the meta is like. So it's all experimentation right now, and hopefully we'll be able to see, you know, more innovation coming from our own local scene. But we're going to be entering the Rift in just a bit. There's going to be a bit of a pause for our players. Again, looking at the team composition. So for Cerberus, there's, again, mid-game huge spike for AD because they have the Varus and the Lucian. And that does give, as long as they can siguro distract Hechizo to put the pressure onto them, they can give both Trevor and Yuk some time to reach that late game spike, because Kindred and Ryze, again, they really do need time to bridge into that late game. Meanwhile, for Infuse, they do not have a frontline tank actually. It's only going to be Trundle for the team composition. That could be a bit of a worry kasi syempre kapag may Azir and may Caitlyn, you do need a frontline tank to help peel for all of you. Pero the problem is Infuse doesn't have anyone to peel for them on their composition. So it is going to be a worry during the late game, especially against people like Lucian and Ryze, who can just run up and dash straight up into your face and take you down.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Summoner's Rift. We are now game 1 in this best of 2 series between Cerberus Esports and INFZ Esports. So for the blue team in the top lane, it's going to be Yux on that rise. In the jungle, Trevor will be our Kindred mid lane, Chalk with the Varus. And in the bottom lane duo, we have Marky with the Lucian. His support shall be Shadow on that Janna.
Meanwhile, on the red side, there's going to be Gertrude on the top lane with Trundle, Hechizo in the jungle with ZXC in the mid lane with Azir, and for the bot lane, that's going to be JRM and Akil on Caitlyn and Soraka.
All right, so
sporting those nice skins.
You were talking about how there is no peel for the side of INFZ Esports, but then they do have, you know, sustainability with that Soraka. If they, I mean, there's no part of Cerberus who can actually go into the backline and then deal with the Soraka if, you know, Akil's positioning is there for the side of INFZ. So we'll have to see when, you know, the team fights happen.
Yeah, that's true, because yung problema ng Cerberus is, like we were saying earlier, there's really not much like reliable hard engage except for the ult of Chalk. So that's actually going to be a problem, especially if, for example, Trundle starts to get up close, or for example, you want to lock down Azir and Caitlyn. That's going to be a problem because even though there's no parang yung obvious peel coming from Infuse, you still do have the pillar, for example, from Trundle. So with the pillar from Trundle and a lot of the kiting back style using Azir and Caitlyn and Soraka, that actually could be a problem for Cerberus if they don't lock down the carries.
Plus, there's also you cannot forget the cupcake traps coming out of the Caitlyn.
Yeah, that's
I mean,
true.
Cerberus, what they can do is probably, you know, rise Runic Prison or to poke out the members of Infuse. But then, as in terms of the catch-off, you know, going in onto the members of Infuse, there's, like you said already, lots of disengage coming in from them with the ultimate of the Azir, with the Ice Pillar, and of course, when you do set up 5 Caitlyn traps, that's already like a freaking crystalline wall, you know, from the Nivea, which gives Caitlyn easy free hits. But it looks like Marky here as well. Shadow gonna contest for this Grump, or they're gonna steal it themselves. Do Infuse see this? Oh, come on, go to the left just a little bit more. You'll be able to.
Yeah, they actually can't.
Yeah, they're just gonna steal the small ones.
Yeah. All right, all right.
Yeah, so that's gonna cancel out some.
Actually, interesting because they only took one.
They did.
Only one of the little guys were taken.
Oh yeah, I see.
Yeah, so it's gonna be a little bit of experience. Meanwhile, Grump being taken by Infused.
I think it reset. That's why.
Yeah.
He thought that he got the last hit, but then it reset.
Yeah, he didn't get it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, like we were saying earlier. So for the team composition, CRB, na-imagine ko na eh, like the way they can win is probably because Infuse has sort of a siege composition. You have Azir and you have Caitlyn and you have the sustain from Soraka. So pray for our end Jesus to give you Ocean Drake 3 times or Mountain Drake or something like that.
Yeah.
And then just rip down those towers. Now, how will CRB respond to that? I think the best way is really to flank. Because since wala kayong straight up lane engage with, for example, Blitzcrank maybe could hook someone in, or maybe Alistar all sped up could run up to you and pulverize you. That's the problem. Walang ganun yung Cerberus. They don't have a Malphite or something like that. So the best thing for them to do is to bait a lane in, get all of Infuse to enter a lane and overextend, and then have Ryze enter into the back line so that they can lock down Azir and Caitlyn, because Trundle is going to have a hard time peeling for all of the members of CRB. You can't summon 5 pillars. This isn't like...
That's true.
Yeah, so they really need... if Ryze is able to flank, and then Kindred and Lucian and Varus all come in at the same time, they won't... Trundle can't peel for all of those 4 members.
Yeah, but you do have to note, with that kind of strategy, it begs Cerberus here, or, you know, it pushes them to actually have ward control of where their plans are going to happen.
Yeah.
And then, how can they do that? They have to have, you know, they have to know where the members of Infuse are. If they're going to get an objective, then go for that.
Yeah.
If not, it's going to be in the hands of Trevor to do something like it. But then, you know, the Elise might get the catch on the Trevor here. Pre-level 6, Trevor's pretty...
Yeah, it's quite scary.
Yeah, pretty squishy.
Yeah, Cerberus need to have that good vision control so that whenever Infuse comes in and they do decide to siege in towards the tower, then Cerberus will have that flank option. On the side of Infused, it's important for them to make sure that whenever they siege a tower, always cover the flank spot. So, ibig sabihin, kapag susuhod ko yun sa mid...
Oh, wow! That was... I didn't expect Gertrude to just... embrace.
Oh my gosh.
Be embraced by Yux there. But here goes DXC. There's going to be any knock-up anymore from this shifting sands right now. And Hechizo going to be burning onto that Yux. And he's very low in HP. There's the Volta spiraling. One more auto attack. Yes, he gets it.
Oh, there it is.
But Gertrude, for some reason...
That was weird.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think he really underestimated the damage from the early abilities here coming in from Rise, standing there, waiting for his jungler to come in. But wait, okay.
I think he
Hindi naman
focused...
masamang you have faith in your jungler. But
yeah, but I think he was looking too much at the jungler and then,
at least doesn't teleport. Okay, she can't like come up there in the snap of a finger to save your life. So yeah, I guess a bit of miscommunication from the side of Infuse there, underestimating the ability power of Rise or something.
You don't do that against a Rise.
Yeah, that's going to be early tier coming in for him, so he'll be stacking up that mana.
He's going to stack up your tears.
Yeah, I'm sure hoping Gertrude learns his lesson.
Oh my, or else he's going to be able to get all that salt in the top lane.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's hope that doesn't happen. Put him on full tilt.
All right, so we see right there that Hedgesaw was actually quick to the trigger to get a gank off. There was a ward to spot him out. I think that was Trevor's doing, as he did counter jungle, getting himself the wolves. Or actually, no, that was
Oops. There's going to be a pause there. But again, yun nga yung... Okay, first, I'm really disoriented by Gertrude standing there. Pero that's one thing that CRB has to worry about. So Yux can't overextend too much like that, especially with Hechizo, being on the red side. That should be predicted. Yux shouldn't have been pushing up that lane. Kasi alam na when we were looking at the map earlier, Lucian and Shadow, or Marky and Shadow, were already on blue. They knew Elise wasn't there, so that means he should have been on red. Yeah. So Yux shouldn't have been pushing up that far.
Plus, I think the much more preferable pathing right now for junglers is that you do get one side first before going in onto the next 50% of your jungle, allowing you to, if you get yourself the red buff first, insta-gank, like when you get out, it's either level 2 or level 3.
Yeah.
And I think when you're a level 2 Elise, it's already fine, just as long as you do have your Venomous Bite and your Cocoons.
Yeah, that's true.
So we'll see.
Yeah,
but still,
so far,
good start for Cerberus.
Yeah. So it's 1-1 so far. At least Yux got the first blood, so that does put him a bit ahead. He does get that tier, so he can stack up towards the Rod of Ages very, very soon. The sooner he gets the Catalyst, the better.
Oh! Damage there onto ZXC. Oh. And Shock here is going to be pretty happy. Oh, ZXC, you don't want to recall under your own turret. You're not safe there, man.
Napamura siguro si ZXC. Like, oh my god, not you! I have to recall. Anyway, he's going to back out. Elise was there, but she's going to just hold that mid lane. I guess this is the worry. For those who are aware of this Azir or who aren't aware of this Azir and Varus matchup, Varus is considered to be a counter to Azir because of the amount of poke and insane rage his Q provides.
Yeah, so aside from that, I mean, as an Azir, you need 2 skills to actually use your soldiers, to counter-engage these pokes coming out of the Varus.
Yeah.
Or aside from that, you actually use them to farm. I mean, Varus, I can use the Q to farm, but he's an AD mid-lane champion. He doesn't really need skills to get the last hits effectively like with an Azir. Alright, so in top lane here, junglers here gonna be able to embrace each other right now. They're not level 6 at all, but Trevor gonna be aggressive onto Hechiza, and Hechiza down to 50% HP with the spider, and he's gonna go down from the from the arrows of this Huntress in jungle.
Yeah, Skirmisher is already up for Kindred, so in case there's a duel, he can prove to be, or at least put up a fight against Elise, although I wouldn't go 1v1 on that. There's going to be a tower dive here. Elise is still around, though.
Will it be that, though, as Trevor here going to take himself one on attack from that top tier 1. And here comes ZXC, going to come in from the river side. They're going to go in onto him, and they deliver him, and he pops him very quickly right there. ZXC not going to be able to enjoy his time in the sky as ZXC gets the kill for the side of Infuse Esports.
Yeah, that was a pretty aggressive
he leaves game, and he was like, all right. Oh, here's a missing code.
Joke lang.
Never mind. Joke lang, guys. Pampasabik lang, pampasabik lang.
Yeah, so Trevor a bit aggressive there. He was charging in without vision on the river, I believe. There are no wards there on the side, except for that little pink ward, which won't be showing you if ZXC really went all the way to top lane. So that's a big, that's a lot of aggression coming in from Trevor, and it was too much. He went all the way to tower dive. They didn't even get a kill, and he just gets destroyed.
They don't really have the damage to do that. So Gertrude is level 6. He has a subjugate. He can just sap anybody's resistances, and then be able to survive that damage output, especially when Yux here only has a Tear of the Goddess, and then Trevor has double attack speed daggers without even the Blood Razor. So
yeah, it's quite odd kasi kung isipin mo, these guys are late game scaling champions. So for them to be forcing engages this early in the game kung saan hindi pa sila ganong kalakas, diba? Ba't mo ipipilit? So ideally, the ones who should be pulling off those kinds of ganks
would be Hedgezo
and Gertrude, with the Trundle and the Elise. We were saying that in the early game that they should be the ones putting pressure on Rise to prevent him from scaling. But what's happening, I mean, I'm not saying it's bad, of course, for Trevor to be ganking, but when the risk is so high,
and
tapos wala ka pang vision on the side.
And their ward isn't even that great.
Yeah, exactly. Then you shouldn't be forcing it. And now, this does
somebody's forcing something here in the bottom lane? No. Okay.
This does give ZXC, you know, a bit of gold now to catch up at least in the mid lane.
Hedgezo might be able to connect his cocoon there, but he is... Yux here has his shield right now. He's trying to run away underneath his turret, but Hedgezo might go down. One more auto attack, and he goes down to Yux right there. Bit too over-aggressive. They're coming in from the jungler of INFZ Esports here, and Gertrude might be giving himself a double kill. He's running away with life. No flash whatsoever here for Yux. Trevor is a bit too far away, but here in the mid lane, there's the Corrupted Chase coming out of Shock right now, and ZXC is poking at Shock. One more auto attack might be enough in the mid lane. In the bottom lane, there's an engage right here. It's just pandemonium all over the Summoner's Rift, ladies and gentlemen, as kill after kill, damage after damage being dealt by these two teams. Wow.
Man, so much aggression coming in from both sides. So grabe, so many Summoners spells burned in.
He's charging it. Oh, he was like one sliver away from dying. ZXC, the bronze on this guy is just too damn real. They spot out Hedgezo here, so I think that's gonna enable Chalk, or at least alert Chalk to go back into his own base.
Both junglers are actually around mid lane right now after that insane mid lane duel. A lot of flashes being burned here and there, but generally the CS lead is way on Cerberus' side. Top lane lead, mid lane lead, and a slight bot lane lead. So things looking really good for them in all of the lanes, and that's a bit of a worry, no, lalo na sa top lane and mid lane, because that's not supposed to be, I mean, top lane and bot lane. INFZ is supposed to have the lead in top lane. We thought that Trundle was going to do just fine in that top lane.
Wow, in the bottom lane, JRM gonna be able to survive with the force of the heal as well as the heal coming out of a kill there. But he was just eating culling after culling shot. These guys are, I would say, they're pretty ballsy with their movements right now.
They are. Really brave and really hungry for kills. So many Summoner Cells being burned in a short amount of time. And sadly, yun, akala natin, diba, si Caitlyn yung makakalamang sa lane na to at bot lane with the range, with the sustain.
Yeah, but I think it's because of the Janna that Marky's having a blast in this bottom lane.
Like, when you have the passive of Lucian, and then you have the shield, that's really, really painful trading for Lucian, especially if Caitlyn isn't careful with her positioning. So Soraka obviously does not provide too much peel, and her skill shots may be difficult to land. Maybe Akil is not so practiced on this champion.
Yeah, plus when you do only have a Soraka, I mean, I've heard this before, she is just a champion that you look at for, healing.
Yeah.
The CC that she brings is not as reliable as you would have a Janna, a Nami, even a Lulu at some point, right?
Yeah, and siguro yung mahirap din dun, it's quite hard to land the skill shots on Lucian if you want to put down the silence, because you get the movement speed boost from Janna, plus you have the dash.
Yeah, the relentless pursuit.
Yeah, so it's very hard to land any skill shots on Lucian. Plus, gaya na sinabi namin kanina ng pick and ban phase, Akil has never used Soraka in the past 4 games of the PGS. So medyo nag-worry tayo kasi sanay siya mag-tank role. So when you're switching into this mage role and you must play 100%, everything on the competitive.
Wow, in the top lane, Gertrude gonna take quite a bit of damage, but uses the subjugate to kneel down Yux, and Yux getting smaller and smaller by the second. And Gertrude, if he didn't use that ultimate, he would have been killed right there. But okay,
this aggression on the side of Yux is really paying off. Look at that CSD. He pretty much already has a kill on him, and Shock
gonna go in and take quite a bit of damage, but the Corrupted Change being stopped. Stopping rather ZXC right there, but Trevor in the sidelines gonna go in onto Hedgezo. Hedgezo has the embrace of those wolves to get over the rappel over the wall right now, but the teleport from Gertrude is here. He has no teammate yet. He's a 3v1 situation. He's taking quite a bit of damage. There's a flash over the wall. Kill goes for the heal, but in the mid lane, Chalk gets, or rather ZXC gets caught out. Cocoon misses by an inch right there, but INFZ Esports looked like they're very off off right now in terms of re-engaging.
Communication. Actually, Trundle went in 1v3 and he's like, oh, I regret this. I'm going to flash out of the wall right now. And sadly, there were no kills. Or actually, no, it's a good thing. There were no kills onto despite a couple of mistakes here and there. And no Shurima Shuffle either coming in from ZXC. It was very, very scary. Sadly, RNGesus did not bless Infuse. We're not going to have an Ocean Drake or a Mountain Drake.
It's going to be
the Air Dragon.
Yeah, the Air Elemental.
Yeah, this would benefit, I could imagine, Cerberus, because the movement speed onto, for example, Kindred, Janna, Lucian, this would really help them to make more picks around the map, spread out that vision so you can put down wards for the flanks, for Yux. And of course, movement speed onto Rise is always helpful. So this buff, I could imagine, could be very important for Cerberus. At sa tingin ko makukuha nila kasi they have the bot lane lead in terms of CS. They do have sort of better pushing down at this bot lane. So they can push it out, maybe get a kill before taking that dragon. As well with Varus, he's got a 30 CS lead. So they can probably push out these lanes and then get dragon.
Definitely, this Varus right now is looking pretty happy with that serrated Dirk. I believe he's going to go...
probably Yomu's or something?
Yomu's
sure.
or Black Cleaver.
Yeah. But we'll see what he does decide to build. Yomu's being rushed here by Lucian right now, I think. And that's going to be pretty even in the bot lane so far. At least that's the hope for Infused, is to keep JRM in the game and at least keep him even in terms of items. He does have the BF Sword and the Berserker's Graves. And meanwhile, Blood Razor all ready for Trevor.
Top lane though, Yux almost completed with his Rod of Ages, and Gertrude is very starved in the top lane. He has a Murky Treads and Spectre's Cowl, but this was not built because he's able to counter Yux. This was built because he wants to at least survive Yux's damage output in the top lane.
Sobrang defensive na ngayon ng playstyle ni Gertrude. And actually, the past 3 days that I'd been playing this game, nagtaka na ako kasi Rise has been very strong, and every time I face him, either if he's on my team, we win, and if he
he missed, or actually he gets to connect onto the flash with the corrupted chains right there, but ZXC not actually getting himself the push with the Empress Divide. There's the last hit. Oh, he gets the bite from the wolf, and ZXC drops dead in the mid lane.
Yeah, so that's a good kill. And again, like I was saying with Rise, he's very strong, especially with...
Oh my goodness, the damage onto JRM is just too damn real right there.
Man, eat all the bullets.
Wow. He's not going to be hungry for
quite
later.
a while. Yeah. Rest time muna. Pero apparently JRM's sustain is not enough to keep, or rather a kill sustaining JRM is not enough to keep them in this lane.
The damage to heal ratio is going in favor of Marky.
Yeah. And yeah, Rise very strong in this current patch, especially with the buffs to Catalyst and Rod of Ages. For those who don't know the changes, you do get both mana. You retain a lot of mana whenever you use a spell.
But Hedges out here gonna get caught just by a bit as ZXC embraces Trevor there with at least one Sand Soldier in the top lane. 116 CS to the 83 of Gertrude, and Gertrude, even with an Ice Pillar, even being, you know, that stone cold killer in the top lane, can't do anything to this Magic Man, you know, the Rise.
Manhit na daw siya. Sanay na daw siya sa lamig. Dark Crystal Rising nga naman, di ba?
Oo nga naman.
But yeah, again, the buffs are out of ages. You do get mana every time you cast a spell, around 15%, I think. And then whenever you receive damage, around 25% of that returns as health. So you have a lot of sustain in health. You have a lot of sustain in mana. So, ang laki tuloy ng incentive para makipag-duel, especially with this Rod of Ages. So Rise right now, the moment he gets Catalyst and Rod of Ages, you know, Gertrude's like, he can't do anything. Because he doesn't have enough damage to scare Rise away. Rise is just sustaining mana and health every time he duels. And he's so brave, huge CS lead right now, and just having the time of his life. No pressure from Hechizo whatsoever in this top lane.
Yeah, Hechizo has become a bit passive.
Yeah.
Because he was actually getting caught out by Trevor, you know, left and right there.
That's true. So things looking really good for our late game scaling champions. We thought they were going to have a hard time in the lanes because of this early pressure from Elise.
Yeah, I think
then again, feeling ko medyo nang iba yung playstyle ni Hechizo. Keep in mind, out of the 4 games he's played, that's 3 times Kindred and 1 time Nidalee. So maybe he's not so used to playing this Elise. I mean, every champion has a different playstyle, and if you're not used to it and you're suddenly forced to use it in highly competitive play, it can sort of rattle you.
True, and plus I would actually opt to see Hechizo on a Lee Sin. I mean, he's known as well for his decent plays. Granted, He hasn't shown it yet in the Pro Gaming Series, but in other leagues, as well as, knowing him as a player, he does prefer that Lee Sin. So, I mean, it's still an early game pressure jungler, and the damage output on the Lee Sin is pretty insane early on. I mean, he tends to fall off in the late game, but that's what that's not what Hedgezo wants. He wants the early game pressure against Cerberus here.
Yeah, and I guess the kick from Lee Sin could have also been helpful to disengage, provide a bit of field for Azir and for Caitlyn. But I guess that's one of the weaknesses of Hedgezo. Kapag maliit talaga yung champion pool mo, sa lahat ng bans tsaka picks, kinuha nila against you. Diba? It's such a horrible time. So he was supposed to get either Kindred or Nidalee, since those are the only 2 champions he's used so far. Nidalee was banned, Kindred gets taken. So ano lang naman titira sa'yo, diba?
Here in the top lane, Trevor going in with Lamb and Wolf, and he is just shredding down Gertrude. One more auto attack, doesn't even need the help of Chalk or Yux right there. He's his own man or own woman, and he's split in half.
Yeah, and man, what are we saying? No, Kindred's not a late game scaling jungler. He's relevant all stages of the game, despite the nerfs coming in several patches against Kindred. She's still, in a good place pretty much.
With the buffs to Blood Razor,
that's
extra
true.
attack speed as well as
better damage, 4% maximum health.
Yeah, you get to shred Gertrude even more.
Yeah, that's true.
And Gertrude's not actually in a position where he was able to get himself, itemizations. While in top lane, Shock gonna be able to help out Gertrude Trevor there to get the top tier 2. Yux gonna be able to flash over, and Hedgezo running for his life. He's skittering away, but Yux right now is relentless with the pursuit of damage onto this bug in the mid lane. As Shadow here gonna be showing himself in the mid lane, which will beg Infuse Esports to go back, and no mid-tier 1 whatsoever for them.
Yeah, right now, Cerberus, in-invade na talaga nila yung top side na they're putting in the wards, and there's a 5,000 gold lead right now on the side of Cerberus, purely from Kindred and Rise, and then the turrets. So they already have mid and top. They've completely invaded. Actually, I'm wondering, why haven't you guys taken Rift Herald? You might as well put the cherry on top and give the Rift Herald onto Rise so he can use it. Probably even dominate another lane, push out bot, maybe get Dragon after.
Or you could give, the Rift Herald to Trevor, because he has been looking for these 1v1 duels constantly, and he's getting kill after kill after kill.
Yeah, especially with the buffs onto Rift Herald. Could be
makes it for a much more better dueling buff. Plus, it's 20 minutes longer.
Yeah, that's true.
Or its duration is now 20 minutes.
Yeah. So that's really huge. Bot lane pushing up. So good rotation so far, I guess, from Cerberus. They've been focusing on the objectives, been able to take a couple of turrets in 18 minutes. Gold lead still up. And Dragon coming up in the,
and it's not slowing down right now. Here comes another gank, or another 1v1 here by Trevor. He just doesn't care anymore. But in the bottom lane, a kill gets caught by the net of the Varus right now. And in the top lane, one more auto attack. Trevor goes down, or Trevor gets the kill onto Gertrude. Marky not gonna care for this bot tier 2 as he just puts the barrage of damage onto JRM. There's the ace in the hole. And will he get the kill onto Marky? No, because there's a shield from Shadow. But it's going to be the 4-man push here by the side of Cerberus onto the bottom tier 2. Who will be able to answer for this? As the mid lane, it's going to be ZXC just staying there trying to get himself a farm. So that's going to be a bot tier 2 being given freely onto the hands of Cerberus, and they are just gnawing. There's Cerberus, they're a 3-headed dog. Top, mid, and bot is theirs for the taking.
Yeah, that's true. They were able to take, at least Cerberus was able to take a turret in top bot tier 2. ZXC trying to get an even trade by taking that mid lane turret. But it's still, of course, it's everything in Infuse's favor. They were able to get a lot of gold already, and Dragon should be in their hands when it does spawn. Hopefully, RNG blesses them. Please give me Ocean Drake. But yeah, we'll see.
What's the next dragon here?
Sobrang nasulit
it's
talaga
Ocean
yung,
Drake, man.
Yeah,
it's Ocean Drake.
So sobrang nasulit talaga yung ult ni Chalk dito. Kasi the problem with Varus is that he falls off very hard during the late game. So you want to be able to use his poke and his ult as much as you can post 6 so that you can make a lot of picks. And with this game, Cerberus are showing that they do understand the power spikes of their team composition. They really are, using this Varus to full effect with all of the ults he's been able to pull off with all the picks with Trevor.
Yeah.
Things just really going in their way.
We weren't actually able to talk about this because aside from Marky benefiting from the Eye of the Storm, it's actually, and as well as from the passive of the Janna, it's actually Chalk as well. When he gets the Eye of the Storm, his Q gets more damage, and then the immobility of the Varus just gets countered a little bit by the passive of the Janna. If she is in the vicinity of the Varus, she's gonna get some movement speed. So more repositioning, better angles to use out your ultimate as well as your your range tools. So very nice composition here coming in from Cerberus.
Yeah, they're very confident right now with this team composition. Baron already being baited in. There are already a couple of pink wards there. And so far, the lanes are pushing in Cerberus' favor. Mid and top and bot are all actually pushing in their favor. They're just going to get that blue buff and then probably try and get a pick here in the river. Dragon coming up in 1 minute and 35 seconds.
That's going to be the Ocean Drake here. But Cerberus can actually give that away and possibly get themselves to Baron right now. They are in a position to probably... Oh, no, actually, they're pretty... They can actually do it.
Yeah, the blue buff being taken.
Thought they were low level, but they're going to do it right now.
There it is.
There's
no vision, so they have no idea this is happening. Gertrude is very far. There are no wards for him to TP on, except for that little one there.
And Shock is actually zoning out the members of Infused right now. He misses his Corrupted Chains, but it doesn't matter. Hedges is very low in HP. He's going to try to skin her way onto this wall. Can they get the steal onto this Baron right now? It's going to be the clutch smite here coming in, but no! Shock gets the slay onto Hedges. No. Nice two-man Empress Divide coming in from ZXC right now, and he is poking Shock right there. Gets the kill. Yes, that will be Gertrude finalizing the damage onto him, and JRM in the backline is just having a field day, and it's only Marky as well as Shadow alive. Marky was actually in the bottom lane trying to go against Gertrude, so that was a 4v5 situation in the hands of Infused Esports.
Dang, son. You're rapping. But anyway, man, Azir locking everyone into that Baron pit really did a lot for them in that team fight. So Cerberus, medyo panic yung positioning nila dun. They thought that they could take out the Baron in time and then probably reposition to fight back against Infused. But the problem was they all got locked in there. Trevor and Rise were both inside that Baron pit and got ulted by Azir. Azir is already quite strong at this point, 22 minutes in. He does have the Nashers as well as the Need to Steal Archer Rod. So there, he's already completed that Rylai's. So things are already starting to get a bit scary. And this was my worry, I guess, with Cerberus because they don't have a tank. So once the 5v5s begin, then things are going to get pretty scary if you can't kill the carries in time. Siguro yun yung problema. Baron was, when they were taking Baron, they were already getting quite low, and no one was able to lock down either Azir or Caitlyn. So at that point, you already lost the team fight.
Yeah, because they had to force themselves inside of Baron pit. The only one who could actually damage Baron outside the pit itself was probably Chalk. Marky, Yux, they have to be, they get another net onto a kill right now, and he's just gonna go back to where the program was created.
Soraka plus free dragon. So this is going to be the Ocean Drake. This could help CRB. They could use it to siege and take a couple of the turrets still outside of the Nexus.
They deliver Chalk, but Chalk, fancy footwork there, fancy flash work, was able to get away from the ultimate of ZXC. So that's going to be the Ocean Drake as well as the Baron in some of the hands of CRB right now as they try to siege the mid lane.
I actually don't know why ZXC had to do that. There wasn't really much backup for him in trying to kill Chalk. I think he should have saved it and then used it to protect this mid lane turret. I think he just got, sometimes, I mean, I'm an Azir player. Sometimes, you just lose all train of thought when you see the moment of the opportunity. I mean, okay, it's a 1v5, but it's an opportunity to do Shurima Shuffle. I'll do it.
Well, I think it's because there was so many plays wherein Chalk was going flash, with the chains of corruption, and then it's like, okay, I have a time right now to do my Shurima Shuffle. Let's do this, man.
I mean, granted, it was a good Shurima Shuffle.
Yeah, but
it was well executed, but the flash was there, and
there was not really a
kill potential. It was very low.
Or an opportunity of investment for this, or invested. What you can get out of that investment, pala. There you go. Thank you.
There wasn't much that he could do. Anyway, and now that's going to be mid turret already gone. Only the inhibitor turrets left right now, and CRB using that dragon buff to sustain, and in the hedges.
The Baron is just being a bother right now for the side of Infused Esports as CRB are being pushed away in their own, or rather, Infused are being pushed away in their own base. Yux actually flashing in to get the catch onto Gertrude, but he's pretty damn tanky right now. But CXC gets caught up. Oh no, he's gonna go down. He used the Empress Divide, but he catches no one right there. And JRM is actually in his base trying to regenerate himself while in the top lane. It's going to be Cerberus Esports getting themselves the first inhibitor of the game 25 minutes in. And they look to get into the Nexus turrets right here. Will they transition to the mid lane? It looks like it pushed out a little bit there with a bit of a wave going to the hands of Infused, but still,
yeah,
Cerberus.
so, man, this was my... Oh my goodness.
And JRM did not even see that coming. I didn't even see that coming.
Yeah, you see, this is the big worry with the composition of Infuse. Gaya na sinabi natin sa pick and ban phase, they had no one really to peel for them except for the pillar coming in from Trundle. But when Trundle's dead, or he's not near ZXC or JRM, there's nothing you can do. And it's not like ZXC can be perfectly positioned every second of the game. He still needs help from some of his stacks. He needs assistance from Infused. And Elise or Trundle, they're not going to be enough to protect you when all 4 carries are in your face.
Yeah, the nerves of steal from Marky just dashing in, and ZXC! Oh no, he's caught up for the second time! He gets popped, and he's gonna ascend into Sharima.
The Emperor has returned, and the Emperor is now leaving. A short stay for our Emperor, and that's gonna be the...
Oh my god.
Man, Cerberus eyes on the Nexus turrets right now, and I
Eyes
don't
on the
know.
prize.
I don't think there's much Infuse can do to stop this. They don't really have any form of engage to lock down the carries, and even if they did, there's not enough damage at this point. 26 minutes, and Caitlyn only with the Infinity Edge and the Runons that can't rip through all of them, you know.
At the same time.
Yeah, exactly.
He has the Runons, but then, you know.
And there's, I mean, Azir only has 2 items right now. I mean, to rip through all of them, you would need around 4 or 5. So things are really not looking good for Infuse right now. And I don't think there's much they can do.
I don't think this
Yux.
Soraka might have been the best pick, but here comes the clash. They get the kill onto Yux, but a kill just falls over. Nice Empress Divide coming in from ZXC, but where's the damage follow-up? Not enough. It's just going to be Hatchisaw's live as well as JRM just, you know, still dead. And it's going to be Gertrude standing alive right now in his well as the Nexus turrets are exposed and Cerberus looking to bark right at them. And they're just going to be able to break them down one by one, and the Nexus will fall shortly after. And that shall be giving Cerberus Esports the first point of this Best of 2 series.
Yeah, so congratulations to Cerberus for the Game 1 win in this Best of 2 against Infuse. They now have 5 points, catching up to IPT and Mineski, who both have 6. And that was a really exciting game, I gotta say. I mean, mistakes were made. Yung parang first 2 minutes pa lang naka-first blood na agad si Yux. Mistakes were made, but it was a really exciting game, and so much aggression from both sides of the team. At first, medyo parang misplaced yung aggression on the side of Cerberus with Kindred and Rise, very aggressive, but eventually, nakita natin yung dedication nila. I mean, rather, the trust they had in each other with that aggression. They knew that, you know, Infuse would not be able to respond to that pressure, and really, Gertrude caved that entire game. He was never able to split push. He fell so far behind in CS, and now, you know, as we look at the end game score and screen here, that's going to be Yux with so much pressure in this game. Any lane he's in, there wasn't anyone who could 1v1. 204 CS compared to Trundle, who's 168. You know, there was such a big difference, you know. And in terms of damage, of course, you know, Varus so much damage throughout this game, just killing Azir, you know, over and over again with that insane poke, and ZXC never able to redeem himself. You know, Emperor of Sharima ascended longer than he wanted to stay.
He was ascended for the extended duration of time.
Alam mo yung parang nag-vacation ka, tapos
not playing with the mortals.
Yung biyahe mo, mas matagal pa sa pag-stay mo mismo dun sa
that's happened before.
Yeah, that happened. So sadly, that's what happened to Infuse this game. But we're hoping to see them catch up again. We have to remember, out of the 5 games they played, they only have 3 points. So they really need to push it and to learn from this game. Probably the pick and ban is a big thing to look at here. We looked at the team composition. Nice backline, but where's your front line? You know, they had no Alistar, they had no Braum this time, which Akil plays. He plays the both of them. So,
yeah, they were free.
Yeah, exactly. So we have to think about, or rather Infuse has to think about what composition they go in for next. But again, keep in mind, we still have a bundle to give away in this evening, and Neeb will be casting in the next game. Again, I am, oh wait, is there anything left?
That's going to be the La Liga Pilipinas Burn Bundle. So it's the Meow Kai, the Prince of Persia Echo.
Sandstorm.
It's the same. It's kind of the same thing. I'm sorry, guys. Yeah. We have the Oktoberfest Gragas, the Special Ops Gangplank here, and the Constable Trundle.
Yeah. So a lot of skins to be given away, all to one person. Keep that in mind. So all 5 skins, really nice skins, all being given away to one person anytime during the next 3 games. So again, this is the match. Tama ba match and win ba?
Yeah,
match and win. So just wait for the code. Actually, lumabas na siya kanina, but just a sneak peek. Yeah,
it was just later. Like, whoops, okay.
Yeah. So it'll come out again later. Do wait for that. And again, I am Amplifier.
And of course, I'm Asarai from Mineski TV.
Yeah, and we'll be right back.
One auto attack from that top tier 1, and here comes ZXC gonna come in from the riverside. They're gonna go in onto him, and they deliver him, and he pops him very quickly right there. Now, he's trying to run away underneath his turret, but Hedges might go down. One more auto attack, and he goes down to Yux right there. To connect onto the flash with the corrupted chains right there, but ZXC not actually getting himself the push with the Empress Divide. There's the last hit. Oh, Lamb and Wolf, and he is just shredding down Gertrude. One more auto attack. Doesn't hear another 1v1 here by Trevor. He just doesn't care anymore. But in the bottom lane, Akil gets caught by the net of the Barris right now. And in the top lane, one more auto attack. Trevor goes down, or Trevor gets, he's gonna try to skin her way onto this wall. Can they get the steal onto this Baron right now? It's gonna be the clutch smite here coming in, but no. Shock gets the slay onto Hedges. Nice two-man Empress Divide coming in from ZXC right now, and he is poking Chalk right there. Gets the kill. Yes, that will be Gertrude finalizing damage onto him, and JRM in the backline is just having a field day, and it's only Marky as well as Shadow Alive. Marky was actually in the bottom lane, tried to go against Gertrude. That was a 4v5 situation in the hands of Infuse Esports.
Dang, son. You're wrapped
up. Oh no, he's gonna go down. He uses the Empress Divide, but he catches no one right there. And JRM is actually in space.
Oh my goodness.
And your face. Yeah, the nerves of steel from Marky just dashing in, and ZXC! Oh no, he's caught up for the second time. He gets popped, and Soraka might have been the best pick, but here comes the clash. They get the kill onto Yux, but a kill just falls over. Nice Empress Divide coming in from ZXC, but where's the damage follow-up? Not enough. It's just going to be Hedges live as well as JRM just, still dead, and it's gonna be Gertrude standing alone.